Yes, guys, welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102. This is the Game On Challenge. This is part 12, and we are hitting the business end of season 12 in this epic of a heads-up network game with myself and Matt Collier-Brown. You can see right there what is fired upon. Matt is Real Madrid. He's gunning for the title. Now, we'll get straight to it. I mean, he's probably not having as clear-cut a season as he probably would have hoped or thought. To be honest with you, it is a little bit closer than I thought. I mean, it's still advantage Matt by far because he's theoretically 3 points clear. Even if he wins that game in hand, but so did Barcelona. He recently had a monster victory though against Barcelona. There you go. Yeah, that's a monster victory because had he lost that, then he would have been on 52. Barcelona would have been on 53. So I think Matt knows he has to do well at Real. He has to win that title. Our current league title count is 7 apiece for me and Matt. The only difference on the league titles is I think I've got more countries in mind. Matt's got, I think he had 3 of his league titles, I think was Dortmund. I've had a different one at every club. And 2 of mine are both England, 1 with Liverpool, 1 with Leeds. In terms of Matt's team, I can't remember where we were at with Matt's team before, but he's made his full allocation of players. The last one was Luis Miguel Santos. I remember him saying he needed a goalkeeper. Hasn't really used him. I think he's had Iker Casillas as his number 1, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Matt, it's been a tough season. He's got the Champions League still going. More about the Champions League in a moment. You can see that the regens he brought in, Fury, Paul Ince. I did read he said Paul Ince wasn't happy, but it looks like he's happy now. That he's brought. I mean, he's been brilliant as on the right. But we did speak about this guy's stats. Ryan Giggs. Now it's interesting, really, because he don't use wingers, and that proves that even though he don't use wingers and he plays them out of position, they can still perform. It's a shame that hasn't happened with Giggs as well. So he's playing Giggs. Okay, so it's an interesting. I never really paid too much attention to this, but it's an interesting concept. He's got Giggs playing on the right side of a central midfield and Fury on the left side. I don't know. Let me know your views on that one, guys. I didn't realise he was still playing Ed Nielsen, to be honest with you. I sold him Ed Nielsen last season. I certainly didn't realise he was still using him. Ranieri Di Costa, we're still not sure who he's a regen of. So if anyone has got any ideas who this guy's a regen of, share it with us. There's one more player in a moment I want you to see if anyone can answer who he may be the regen of. We've pretty much renamed everybody who we've got. Let's go to so the Spanish Cup. He's safely through to the semi-finals, and he is looking good in phase 2 of the Champions League. 3 wins out of 3. I expect him to go through. And in terms of the cup, he has got. The draw not been made yet? No, I thought the draw had been made. No, but he is through. Obviously, he wants to avoid Barcelona. No doubt about that. He would certainly rather have Cordoba. I didn't even realise we're there. And Atletico Madrid, and he certainly wants to avoid Barcelona. He had an early exit last season. Now for the breaking news. I have left Porto. I haven't left long ago. I think it was only like 3 weeks ago. I have left Porto. I have left Portugal. I have returned. So, I'm saying returned. No spoilers here because Bayern Munich said no to me. Fuck you, Bayern Munich. 3 motherfucking times I applied for Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich was absolutely perfect. It was Germany, somewhere I hadn't been. They said no. The first time second time they took on Diego Maradona. Fuck you, drugs cheat. And third time was just not acceptable. So I have left and I have returned somewhere. You're all thinking, where? Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Well, I have returned to PSV. I've returned to PSV and what should be an easy title. But just before we go any further, in terms of Porto, we'll go to Porto in a moment. God, they've dropped off, haven't they? Fucking bastards. Okay, so they were in control for a title. Yeah, look at that. They've drawn and they've lost. They've lost. Jesus. Oh, that's outrageous. So we were looking good. Now, the guy I want to ask you, who is a regen of, is this guy. because me and Matt have fucking searched extensively. Well, I say me and Matt. Matt has more so. And don't think of the obvious. It's not Letitia. It's not Scholes. Because Matt, to be fair, has spent hours going through it. He's a fucking beast. Look at him. So subsequently, I've added him to my shortlist. We were knocked out of the Champions League. And that was that situation in the Champions League. Now, who knows? Maybe if I'd made it to the second phase, things might have been different. But you can see who we got in the Champions League. You couldn't script this shit, could you? So, in all fairness, the first game against Matt's Real, we should have really probably edged the victory, and that could have been costly. The last game of the Champions League, we had to beat Matt's Real Madrid away from home. Had we have drawn, we would have needed to have seen Nantes draw, but we lost, and Nantes won anyway, so that was that. However, there is a big however in a moment. Let's just go back to Porto a minute, see if there was any particular players. Joe Hart, we brought Joe Hart. Joe Hart. They started playing him. That's interesting, isn't it? But let's now talk about my setup at PSV. Of course, I've still got 2 more transfers available to me. So it looks like it was the 22nd I took over. Figo. Luis Figo arrived for what was definitely a bargain. Archidius back. Doesn't look the bollocks, but I like to think he will be. George Costa. An interesting reflexes there. Ayala and Kaluzny, who isn't the bollocks at the minute. So, like I said, I've still got 2 more. Have got 1 arriving on next season's quota, and that is going to be Rui Costa. We're at second set of negotiations to get him from Sporting. A lot of money for him, I think. Let me just check. 675. Claudio Lopez is arriving, but on next season's quota. Again, that's the thing with these regens. They don't look brilliant, but hopefully they will turn into good players. I've met a bid in for Nedved. I've got 2 more players. The players that I inherited. Now, this was bizarre, right? Because I sent a message to Matt saying, mate, who the fuck is... No, not him. Who the fuck is this guy? Marco Dehaan. And Matt comes and goes, Mike, you won't believe this, it's fucking Kluivert. And none of us had it down. And you can tell he'd only recently gone to PSV in the academy. So Patrick Kluivert. That being said, my arrival was right at the start of a 10-game ban for him. So, fucking prick. Meanwhile, we are back in the Champions League. So we took over, they were on 4 points from 6. We've had 1 game, we've just recently beat Copenhagen. So we will have another stab at the Champions League. Now, I don't even feel guilty, if I'm truly honest with you. I'll tell you for the reason, because you can see where we are in the title. We did lose a game, I think. We lost our first game. But the thing is, when Matt took over Ajax, roughly this similar sort of time, he won the title. He won a title in the Champions League. So it was almost like a little bit of luck, bit of rubber to green, and we all get it. And I think these things were going roundabouts. Part of me didn't want to go back to PSV, but a huge part of me wanted to get the fuck out of Portugal. We've got some big resources. We're rich. We had 30 odd million to spend. We haven't spent massive amounts of money. No, there you go. 60 million. It was 30 odd million to spend and 58. It was 58 in the bank. 30 to spend, 58 in the bank. Something like that. In fact, we could have a look, couldn't we? So the income... Yeah, so you can see what was already there. So we haven't... Right, okay. So, okay. Does it tell me, player? Oh, whatever. So, we have got some work to do. We desperately need a... We desperately need a goalkeeper. What the fuck's happened there? Where's my 16-year-old goalkeeper? What the fuck happened there? Why did he leave? They sold Adams to me, of course, which is a bit of a shitter. So I've decided to stick with the formation of 7 up. Van Bommel. I mean, Van Bommel is 35. We have Aaron Winter regen already here. We had Mark Overmars regen already here. We've got Mido, the great Mido. We've got some solid players here. I'm not sure who that is. This Colombian, but solid to say the least. No one really... I mean, it wasn't an amazing setup. I mean, there were still a few good players from when I left. Klomp, good player, but he's 35. I remember buying John Curtis. But, to be fair, having brought George Costa and Ayala, Curtis and Klomp will probably fuck off next season. We certainly need a goalkeeper. I didn't realise I'd lost my goalkeeper. So that is where we're at, and we're in the cup as well. We're in the cup semi-final where we have got Fortuna, so likely to meet Ajax in the final. So that is where we are at then with the game on part 12, business end of season 12. Quite a twist in the plot, I think it's fair to say, a real twist in the plot. Until next time from me, guys, take it easy.